Yeah, and here's the recap of our tiers. We have mine, David Geislinger's on the left-hand side, coming in with San Francisco, Green Bay, and Texans coming in with the QB with the two stack. We have Buffalo, Washington, Seattle, Cardinals QB one stack. I went with Ravens single QB, but you can also use it as a one-off player. Derrick Henry, so on. Colts running back defense, and then we have multiple teams here with the wide receiver and a run back from the other opposing team. A few one-off players, teams: Jaguars, New England, Raiders. I even throw Miami up there with HN. So you can probably get rid of Miami in the avoid. On the right hand side, you have David Grant's thing. We're similar, but he went Ravens up at the top too with the double stack. He has a few extra uh, list here. So solid defense. He went Broncos, great defense, and other weapons. Bears, debatable, but yeah. So this is just a recap. So yeah, so that's the recap, and let's get back into it.
Welcome to DFS Insights. I'm David G, joined here by my cousin and co-strategist, also David G. Today we're diving deep into our tier list for the upcoming Milli Maker on DraftKings. We're going to break down each matchup here for week 5 so that you know which players to target, which teams to stack, and even the ones that you might want to steer clear of. Although, let's be real, you should technically never avoid any team completely. So you've definitely come to the right place for all the insights to help you create your next $1 million lineup. And so, what are your thoughts here on this upcoming week 5, David?
Oh, sweet. So you're guaranteeing I'm going to hit the million?
Guaranteeing to help you hit the
All
million.
right, there you go. All right. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to week 5 here, getting some good data points. Yeah, just keep chugging along. Hopefully, things start are well, injuries are still plaguing the NFL, but it seems the teams are kind of settling in, and you're definitely getting the power rankings more now. Week 7, 8, that's typically when I'm going to start, going a little harder here. I'll have more solid data points there. So yeah, but looking forward to this one. Let's jump right into it, shall we? So
Let's do it.
the first game up on the slate here, we're not going to be covering obviously the New England game, Jets Broncos, as it's not part of the Millie Maker. So that's why it's not up here. If you're looking for that, I apologize. But we got the Carolina coming into Chicago here. Bears are favored by 4. I mean, it is Carolina. So 41 implied total. It is the third lowest total. Points projected here. Implied points 22.5 to Chicago, 18.5 to Carolina. Yeah, both teams. Bears actually have a decent pass defense. Run defense is pretty atrocious, 57, and then that's similar to Carolina, but Carolina's pass defense is also down. They seem to actually kind of move the ball down the field roughly about the same, both coming in about low 60s on the pass plays and about mid 30s on run plays, dividing it up on their drives there. So definitely might be looking at like a wide receiver running back combo maybe for Bears. I have Bears, with the wide receiver and a run back here for this matchup. What we do, we're going to give you our tiers list. We don't do the A, B, C, D, F thing. It's boring, bland. Doesn't really give you too much insight into lineup construction. So stick to, toward the end of the video, we'll give you the full rundown and pop up the tiers here. Or if you missed the beginning of the video, go ahead and rewind that, watch the quick recap there as well. So Bears, I might have a few exposure here, but this nothing too fancy, or I'm going to go too hard on this one with the implied total being the third lowest.
Yeah, that's bit. The only thing I got to add to that is that Carolina ranks dead last in points allowed, and they rank 29th in rushing yards against. So I think this could finally be, more of the get right game here for Caleb. Being the number one draft pick. And then also, I've been a big fan of DeAndre Swift, even coming over from Detroit. And he's coming off his best performance with the 29 fantasy point game against the Rams. And it being at only 5,700, that to me seems like a steal with what type of ceiling game he could have here. So other than that, I'm not really looking at many people on the Carolina side, but there's definitely some Chicago people here I'd be looking at that are a good price that could definitely have some ceiling games. So,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
Carolina's a little bit, more appealing now with Dalton. That's weird to say as well, than Bryce Young. So there is possibility there. But we'll see in the next few weeks what Dalton can do for them. So yeah, move it on. I'll let you take the next one here.
yeah. Well, speaking of Andy Dalton, we're going to his former team, the Cincinnati Bengals. We got the Baltimore Ravens traveling over to Cincinnati. We got a 49-point total, just a 2.5-point spread here that Baltimore's favored by. To be honest, I'm pretty shocked. I would think Baltimore would be favored by, a little bit more here. Cincinnati has no defense, and I'm saying that because of what I've seen with my eyes. It's been atrocious, especially their run defense and really just their defense overall. Derrick Henry, man, he's been playing on another planet his last two games for Baltimore. Against Dallas and against Buffalo, he's averaging 35 fantasy points at the running back position. And, as I mentioned, Cincinnati, no run defense at all. He has gone up 1,000. So last week he was 6,800 for Derrick Henry. Now he's 7,800. So you are paying a premium here for someone like him. There's plenty of players to pick from here, and this is a big divisional game. So it's, I could see this being pretty high scoring. I do think Baltimore should handle Cincinnati, but, being a big divisional game here and Cincinnati sitting at 1-3, there's a lot of players here. I mean, Jamar Chase is in, T. Higgins is in, Burrow's in. So it seems like everyone here is healthy from what I'm seeing. So we should have ourselves a good football game. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I think I have the Ravens as QB. I think the price tag, Henry obviously jumped up quite a bit, so it makes it real tough. Lamar, I just need to see more passing consistency from him. I trust him on the ground. Yeah, he hopefully does another few dump passes to Henry, and maybe throws one or two. But I'm counting on him running it in. If that's why I kind of have him solo. Raven solo and then mainly him, or if you want to go up there and pay up for Henry, thinking he's going to have a game against the Bengals, then that's not a bad play either. Bengal wise, they need it. I mean, they're hurting bad.
Yeah,
They need to
gotta have.
their morale's low, so they need to come in. They don't really have I say you know the run game. I don't think is going to be there. I think it's Chase Brown, if I'm not mistaken there. But
Yeah.
Ravens defense is solid, so Higgins and Chase, Chase are going to have to carry the load like they usually do. So yeah, other than that, no, nothing too much to add there. I have Bengals with a wide receiver combo, so Chase. And then with the run back of Henry or something, that's expensive. Or Chase and Zay Flowers or Bateman or somebody. So yeah.
For sure. Yeah, that's the issue with Baltimore is all their players are top-notch expensive. So
Yeah.
that is the only problem there. It's tougher to do a stack with someone like them. So yeah, moving on here to the next one.
Oh, Texans. Bills coming into Texans. Bills are on a tear. Texans are actually favored in this one. They need a bounce back game for sure. I think was a week or two ago they got destroyed.
Stop.
So my problem with the Texans, not necessarily, it's just they're expensive as well. And it's anybody's guess who's going to have the game. Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell. So you're going to pay a premium, and you just better hope you guess right. So
Yeah.
keep that in mind. Texans do throw the ball 66% of the time. Bills do not have a great pass defense coming in at 59. Their run defense is even worse. So I mean, if you want to get clever there, throw in Texans, maybe running back. I do have, this is a two stack because Bills. I think Josh Allen's is going to put up points, so Texans going to need to put up points. So I would maybe even do, you know, Tank Dell and Diggs or something to try to get the price down. I think Nico Collins would be coming in at the highest excuse me, the highest salary there. So
And the only thing I'll add to that big time is, unfortunately for Houston, their starting running back Joe Mixon is out. So that's already official. So that's definitely going to hurt them. And I could see them passing the ball a little bit more, since Stroud has shown that he can throw the ball. Obviously, I mean, it was amazing last year. So that is something to keep your eye on, and what type of adjustments Houston might have to make in order to take care of this game here at home in Houston. So moving on here to the next game, we got an exciting Indianapolis Colts going into the Jacksonville Jaguars. Man, are the Jaguars having a hard beginning to their season. This is I don't I don't even really know where to start. Somehow it's only a 3-point game. I think it's because the Colts are pretty banged up. We got a point total here, 46. The Jaguars,
not bad.
man, what's crazy is when I look at the Jaguars offense, I see that they got some pretty solid one-off players. I mean, I like their running back, ETN. They got Kirk at wide receiver. They got some guys scoring some fantasy points over there. So definitely a team I'd be looking at for some one-off guys, for sure. And they're due for a win, and if they're going to get one, the Colts are definitely a team that they could definitely finally see their first win again against. The Colts, they do have, a solid running back.
Hey, come on! They
I
got
think it is their.
Flacco, man. They're going.
Yeah, they got Jay Flacco, and I forgot. That's right,
Yeah,
with
it changes
with
everything.
Richardson still being out.
Changes
uh,
everything.
so uh, yeah, did they? I think they got the W last week with
Yeah.
Flacco coming in. So kind of like the Andy Dalton coming in, getting the win for the Panthers. So yeah, I just think there's some one-off players here, and they are cheap. So definitely somewhere to find some guys with some upside. As far as some stacking going on, I found it a little hard to do any stacking. What are your thoughts here?
For this one, I think, stacking's an issue. I have, Jaguars as a one-off kind of thing. If you want to play, a one-off ETN primarily, go ahead and play them there. And then I have the Colts as maybe even a running back defense combo stack there, because the Jaguars just don't seem that great. 46 might be a little high. I think it might be a little lower scoring in my prediction. So I think that's what I'm going to ride with potentially. If I do, have some exposure to this one, I'll be doing the running back defense combo probably from Colts. So
Nice.
speaking
Yep.
of banger games, we can just skip this one. Dolphins coming into New England here. 36 total implied total there. Dolphins are favored by a point. Sure, this game's going to be low scoring. Or at the same time, it could be just both teams aren't that good, and then have the highest scoring game, like we saw on Thursday, where Falcons and the Bucks decided to get 90 points. So
Man. Yeah.
that was insane. So Dolphins' pass defense is atrocious. New England's passing game is atrocious.
Yeah.
Dolphins, so this could be a good one. I think I have Dolphins avoid. I might actually change that up to maybe one-off. I like Achane potentially here against Patriots run defense coming at 51-7. So if you want to maybe look to Achane, he hopefully, people see he did really bad last week, so ownership might, drop down. I think his salary even dropped down slight due to that. So he's coming in. He's not Do the Dolphins? Wait, yeah. No, for some reason they're not coming up. I'll have to look at my sheet here. Anyways, with that, anything to add to this game?
No, we can keep this moving. Yeah, nothing to add there. So the next game we got the Cleveland Browns visiting the Washington on fire Commanders. Man, it's been a lot of fun watching the Commanders play. Jaden Daniels. It looks like they're favored here by 3.5 points. We got a 43.5 point total. This should be a really good test for Jaden Daniels as the Cleveland Browns defense is looking pretty solid. They got a solid run defense at arguably the second highest on the slate here, coming in at 72. Pass defense, middle of the road ish. So definitely a test, and I think Jaden Daniels will be able to pass it. I've seen him on 4th and 6, on 4th and 3, on 3rd and 8. I mean, you name it, he's able to get it done with his legs. And I've seen him just drop dimes and dots all over the place. So, and as far as like pricing goes, they're priced at least, pretty decently. Obviously, Jaden Daniels is top 5 up there in pricing. I do like other quarterbacks in a little bit more of the mid-tier price wise this week. So, but you could definitely do a Washington stack here. I'd be a little weary with the Cleveland Browns defense being, one of the better defenses on the slate. And on the Browns side of the ball, they're still just a discombobulated team to me as far as I'm concerned. So I think you could obviously get some one-off guys there for Cleveland to me. I do like their defense as well. It's just that the Commanders' offense has been pretty commanding. So I don't. It'll be interesting. So I think it'll be some pretty good dirty football. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I think the Commanders are going to take this. Yeah, their defense, rating wise is atrocious. 54-9 run
Yeah.
defense, 46-1 pass defense. So unfortunately, they could make Deshaun Watson look like a football player this matchup. So Browns, they're passing 72% of the time against the 46th ranked Washington Commanders. The only issue is with this, the Browns have a better run defense than they do passing, and Commanders run, and then they run again. So
yeah.
If they can get the run going on Cleveland's decent defense, then I think they're going to have a better chance to win. Jaden Daniels, he just hasn't had to throw like in a situation because they've always been able to run the ball. I mean, it was 2 games ago he had his first touchdown pass.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, so I mean he's doing great. So good for him. But I think that he's going to need to pass here to win this game. I have Washington as a QB with the one-off. I like McLaurin there. We called him in the single game FanDuels. We got that combo right over there in the optimal. So I hope he hits again with this one, especially with Cleveland's defense being where it's at. And then Cleveland, I have him at the wide receiver, running back, tight end with the run back from the other team. So I think Deshaun Watson could look good in this game, which hurts me to say.
Yeah, I hear you. Right on.
Oh, I get the other banger of a game here.
Yeah.
It makes it sense because you got the next one. So, yeah, same general principle as the Miami Patriots game. This is Raiders coming into Denver. Denver's favored by 3. Implied total of 36. This is tied for the lowest with the Dolphins and Patriots implied game totals here. Denver actually has a solid, defense. I think their run defense should, in my opinion, be slightly ranked higher than that. Their pass defense, has been pretty good. Raiders' run defense is solid. I think it's coming in, top of the list here this week, but their pass defense is god awful. It seems like there's a lot of friction over there in Vegas, which weird.
Nothing new with that.
It's weird. Yeah. So in Denver, might be getting a little cohesion going. So I could definitely see why the Broncos are favored here, -3. Do I see me playing anything in this? Broncos, maybe
Broncos
I can go with Sutton there against the Raiders defense being at 33.7. That's literally like way lower than the second lowest. The Commanders at 46. They're at 33.7. That's bad. Raiders, I have
Yeah.
one off player, and that's just simply if Devontae Adams plays. I could see playing him, even though that drama situation there. Or I really really like the Raiders tight end Bowers. I think he's probably
Yeah.
next to Adams, and even right now, I'd say
Argue.
better than
Yeah.
Adams just because Adams doesn't really want to play.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
for sure.
yeah, that's my
Uh,
take on that great game.
yeah, hey, big divisional matchup there, and I could just see it being pretty dirty, low scoring, and yeah, I like the Denver's defense, and then like you mentioned, some one-off players from both sides. So no major stacking or anything. So yeah, moving on. So we were gonna do. I don't know if we were gonna do one game of the week or our two favorite
No,
games of the
yeah,
week.
we'll do two favorites. So this is the first matchup of the week
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, this will be the first matchup of the week. So we got the Arizona Cardinals visiting, no bias here at all, my San Francisco 49ers. This is going to be a big divisional game here for both teams. This is the highest scoring projected total here with 50. And man, so Christian McCaffrey is officially out for the entire season. As soon as I heard about the Achilles injury and he was put on IR, I already foresaw this happening. Fortunately, Gordon Mason for us has stepped right in, and I mean, hasn't really missed a beat for CMC was the player of the year last year, so those are some tough shoes to fill. But he's been able to step in and do as good as I think anyone could under the circumstances. Um, George Kittle is questionable with a rib injury, so just keep your eye out on that. Other than that, Debo Samuel is good to go. The rest of the squad's looking pretty good. I know our defense is a little banged up. We got Hargrave with the torn tricep who's out. I'm not going to go over it just because there's so many injuries and everything. But even with the injuries here, uh, man, the San Francisco 49ers should smoke the Arizona Cardinals. They are favored by 7 points, which is one of the highest spreads here. It's as I was looking to do some stacking. Brock Purdy is at 6,200. I personally would rather pay 6,500 and go up to Jordan Love, just because he has a better floor and arguably a better ceiling to me. So it's tough with the 6,200 price mark on Purdy. And then again, as far as the running back goes, Mason is one of the top 5 expensive running backs. However, he gets used in Kyle Shanahan's offense so much. He's almost a must play to me. He's guaranteed big fantasy points, barring an injury or something. And then going with like someone like a Juwan Jennings. If Kittle plays, going with a Kittle. If you think Ayuk could have a breakout game, Debo is a little bit more expensive. Again, here he's up in this 6,200, 6,400 range. That's the only thing is the expensiveness of the Niners. Coming back on the other side with Arizona, their offense has been solid. Their defense has just been atrocious. So they can definitely put up some points. Kyler Murray's been looking really good, and they definitely again projected 50-point total game here. So I I do like both sides. Um, yeah, but I think the Niners are definitely going to take this one. People I've heard around around other media outlets saying that this could be the upset of the week. Get out of here. The Niners are not losing to the Arizona Cardinals at home. Not happening. And I think the Niners are going to score a bunch of fantasy points. It's going to be a matter of, uh, you know, how much how how much can they beat their salary by? So that's what we're looking for here. And their salaries are a little high. So, Jordan Mason to me, though, is a must play at running back. So, what are your thoughts here on this game?
Yeah, so looking here at Arizona, coming in, Kyler Murray 6,700. I mean, last week he was, about 17.5% owned. Week 3, 14% owned. Then he, started off about 5% ownership here. So with that Kyler Murray's not a he's even though he is high, I think that, like you said, either he's going to be playing from that far behind the 49ers, so he's going to need to throw it. Harrison Jr. 75, so that is an expensive combo. I do have the Cardinals here at a QB with the stack here, so I would either Harris, I would maybe eat that if I decide to go, or even Trey McBride down here at the 5,900. I think he actually might be injured there, but I think he actually is injured. But looking at it,
no, he's not. No, hey, the designation went away.
Oh, nice,
so
nice. Okay, so he might be playing. So I'd be looking there, or even at one of these other ones. Dortch coming in 4,500, Zay Jones 4,600. So there is a thing. Me personally, might even go up to James Conner here, 6,500, because I do believe that San Francisco's run defense is worse than their secondary for sure. I'll be definitely keeping an eye on Fred Warner with that. So scrolling here to 49ers, like you mentioned, Purdy, 6,200. Last week he had 15 fantasy, 14-6, 26-7-8, 19, and then 10. So ownership-wise, only 3% owned last week. Then 5, he hasn't broken more than 5% in a week. So that's good leverage there, especially in these $1 million milli-maker tournaments. That's pretty good leverage. And Purdy's he hasn't been putting up that bad of numbers. I mean, you obviously want more there. Jordan Mason, on the other hand, his salary's crept up 7,400 now, so he needs another 27 game at that salary if you're going to play him. So obviously, if you're playing Jordan Mason, he's not really involved too much as like CMC is in the pass game. So I think if you play Jordan Mason, you're probably not going to be stacking him with like Purdy and a wide receiver. So I might.
Correct.
So no. Other than that, that's pretty good. So, I think this. I might have a few players from this one. I'll do a few lineups, especially obviously being the highest game total. And I think that 50 might be low.
I'm with you on that for sure, because the Niners defense is banged up. It just feels like worse each week. So hey, I'll let you take the other matchup of the week that we got here.
Yes,
this is actually my favorite matchup.
Yeah, so it seems kind of biased here. We're doing the matchup of the week of both of our favorite teams, but it just literally happens that the matchups are actually by far the best on the slate. I mean, implied total wise, Baltimore's above this one, but Green Bay coming into Los Angeles Rams sitting at about 48.5 implied total. I have this being a very close game on these NFL model that we have here to predict like our math model that we do in UFC. So if you stay tuned, like, subscribe, you'll be getting all the data here, and stay tuned because we'll be dropping some people parlay information for people that are allowed to do it. Us here in California, unfortunately, we can't. But anyways, getting back to the Green Bay game, I like this. I have Green Bay as a QB with two running back, two running back. Holy crap, two pass catchers, run back. Jesus. Jordan Love's looking. I mean, in the first 3 quarters, 2.5 quarters, he looked atrocious. But they almost bounced back here and won that game in Minnesota. It just seems like he threw up a jump ball when he didn't have to, and it kind of, I think, cost him. 3 interceptions. Love 6,500. I'd pay up gladly for that. The only issue is that they such young receivers, and there's so many of them. Like, who do you go to? I like Wicks. I think Watson might be out with his injury. Wicks coming in at about 5K, and I think he leads the NFL in separation right now, yards separated. So keep that in mind. And Jaden Reed is obviously a beast, but you will be paying a premium for him. Even Tucker Kraft has been in the pass game quite a bit. Green Bay's defense is also looking pretty good. freaking not a game time decision with Jair Alexander, which screwed me last week. And I'm saying this too, we're a run heavy team. However, Jordan Love does like to throw too, but Rams are completely banged up. I mean, I don't even know who's still playing for the Rams. There's so many people
I know, right?
out, like offensive, defensive. Like I don't. Maybe they should just like walk to the field, throw the white flag, and call it. But however, never turn your back on Stafford. That dude can sidearm his way out of any freaking thing. So he's been doing, has been putting up points. Kyron Williams, there's always, he's a beast. Green Bay's run defense is, a little lacking, but, Demarcus Robinson, Tyler Johnson, Atwell, all low salary, and even Stafford's low. So it's not a very, bad stack there for the Rams because Green Bay can give up points. I mean, we literally were down 28, I think 0 at halftime against Minnesota. So, and I think, Stafford is, I think in my opinion anyway, better than Darnold. So, what do you think about that game? I like it. I'm going to be playing quite a bit of it. I just got to make sure, throw my bias out the window and just play, play the stats and play the numbers.
Yeah, I personally like. I mean, my favorite team to stack on the whole slate is Green Bay. Basically between the salary because Love is right in that middle tier upper where it's just a couple extra $100, and with what his ceiling is and his floor, like I mentioned, and then Dobbs is out for you guys.
Dobbs. Yeah.
And so Dobbs, and so that's even more so as to why Jaden Reed and your other guys are going to get, Jordan Wicks, or Jaden and Wicks. So they're both, Jaden's obviously expensive and for a reason, but they're still in that tier where you can get other great players around there. And so knowing that it made stacking and then putting in other great players from some other good spots on some one-offs pretty easy for me. And then on the Rams side, the only hole I really see with the Packers is your guys' run defense. So that Kyron Williams play would be the main one. Only it's, as you mentioned, they're so banged up. If I think that they're going to be trailing in the fourth quarter and Stafford has to be throwing more so than passing, then that means Kyron would have to have gotten it done in the first half or the first, 3-quarter-ish. Although football's been pretty crazy in the last 3 minutes of every game, completely changes the outcome of everything. So, but yeah, this I'm definitely liking the Green Bay stack from the financial standpoint and what the upside is looking like there. So
yeah, hopefully they can pull it out. We need it. We need it, especially with Minnesota running away here. So
for sure.
Next up, last but not least. Oh yeah, so a lot of teams are on bye this week. I was wondering why the list was so short. So yeah, let's wrap this up here. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, notification bell. And keep, stay tuned. Don't leave. We're going to be dropping some parlay information on those matchups of the week. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. We got, finishing it off, we got the New York Giants traveling over to the Seattle Seahawks. And, this is in the, lower medium range, 42-point total. However, 7-point spread, traveling over to Seattle. They're a no joke team for sure. Geno Smith's still been looking good over there. It looks like Seattle's definitely throwing the ball. They're throwing the ball about 70% of the time, and coming over to the New York's pass defense. Pass defense is looking like one of the better ones on the slate, so that'll be interesting to keep your eye out for. Seattle might actually run the ball maybe a little bit more than what they usually do, since the Giants' run defense is a little bit more towards the lower end, especially on the slate here. And again, I do see Seattle taking this game. I'm not very impressed with what I've seen from the Giants. And, if I'm game scripting Seattle being up, they're going to be running the ball in the fourth quarter. I could definitely see a couple of stacks here with them. I mean, Geno's definitely not, a lot of their players are on the cheaper side, which does allow for a stack to be a little bit easier accessible. What are your thoughts here on this game?
Yeah, I have Seattle as a QB with the QB1 stack, so Geno and Metcalf, or Geno Smith,
Yeah,
Jackson Smith, or Geno and Tyler Lockett. Based on what your salary thinks and who you think's gonna benefit here. Yeah, Giants do have a good pass defense. I think Seattle's run plays are a lot lower because Walker was out for the first few games. Got injured after week 1. I know that because he's on my season-long fantasy team. But so I think now with him back, I mean, even Charbonnet wasn't doing too bad, but I think now Kenneth Walthiger's back, they probably will run it slightly more than that 32%. Seattle's overall defense is looking real nice. Both green here. 89 topping out on passing defense, and Daniel Jones hasn't been doing great. I mean, him and Neighbors seem to have a connection, but you can't just you need to have somebody else. So I think Seattle, obviously is going to pull this off, and I could definitely see even having a New York with Neighbors with a run back from Seattle. So I'll definitely have some in here. 42.5, not the greatest thing, but I'll definitely have some players, especially looking at potential ownership here. So
nice,
yeah,
right on.
So now that you guys listen to that, let's go ahead and give you guys. We're going to be doing based on our matchup of the week here, giving out some parlay information for those fortunate enough to be able to do money line spread bets, parlays and things like that. But first up here, we have the 49ers Cardinals. So this is basically using, math to overall predict percentages. We do this for UFC. We've been about 70 to 80% accurate. So if you're curious about that, head over there to the UFC 307 video. It's loaded up on the channel now, and you'll be ready to put some lineups in here for, that Saturday, potentially win 200K. It's not a million, but I'll take 200. So, looks like here 49ers, projected point total 38 points, Cardinals 17. So it looks like 49ers 86% chance to win. About a 75% chance it's coming in at to cover the spread, 7-point spread there, and about a 60% chance to break that over. So, we're still, testing this out and seeing, I want to wait till probably towards the end of the season to give an overall percentage, but we just want to start giving this, information out here as much as we can. So now moving over here to matchup number 2. Green Bay Packers. I don't like this. I do not like this. Packers coming in 24.76 total points, 50.4. Rams 24.71 with the 49. So this is basically a coin flip. It's actually giving the percentage to the Rams to cover the spread at a +3. So if you're betting that way, that's potential there. As you can see, it's basically tied. Over under 48 and a half, and it's saying about a 51%. So to me, I might steer clear of this one if I was betting it, because if it is a coin flip, you never know, and don't ruin a parlay based on a coin flip. So,
yeah.
With that, and here's the recap of our tiers. We have mine, David Geislinger's on the left-hand side, coming in with San Francisco, Green Bay, and Texans coming in with the QB with the 2 stack. We have Buffalo, Washington, Seattle, Cardinals QB1 stack. I went with Ravens single QB, but you can also use it as a one-off player, Derrick Henry, so on. Colts running back defense, and then we have multiple teams here with the wide receiver and a run back from the other opposing team. A few one-off players, teams, Jaguars, New England, Raiders. I even throw Miami up there with HN. So, you can probably get rid of Miami in the avoid. On the right-hand side, you have David Grant's thing. We're similar, but he went Ravens up at the top 2 with the double stack. He has a few extra list here. So solid defense. He went Broncos, great defense, and other weapons. Bears, debatable, but yeah. So this is just a recap. So thanks for listening to us ramble on here for the last few bits. So yeah, good luck. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe. Please drop a comment down. We like to get some engagement here, engage with you guys. Get some feedback and help you guys out with stuff that we didn't cover. If you need any extra information. So with that, good luck. And David, you have anything to add?
Nope. Hey, good luck. Hope everybody out there wins some money. Again, we got the UFC 307 video already lined up. So if you guys are into MMA, hop on over to that. And, make sure to hit that notification bell because we will be covering NBA's just around the corner as well. So we'll be covering NBA, NFL, and MMA. So good luck to everyone out there and see you guys on the next one.